What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here, the RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you an amazing video today. In today's video, we are talking about the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and we are talking about the Season 2 Ultimate Item, the Blazing Tongue Whip. This thing is a fantastic weapon, and it is one of the rewards you get if you are one of the top ranks for Season 2 for your faction. You will be able to purchase the Blazing Tongue Whip with some points, okay? So, into the actual video, we're going to look at a report where a fully decked out Shadow, level 50, attacks a Gimli, and we're going to be looking at some of the Blazing Tongue procs from that attack, okay? So keep in mind, this thing is 2-star, 2 refinement, okay? Overall, stat-wise, our opinions on that, right? The might is decent at plus 28. The army attack is nice to see, so I'm guessing that'll be like plus 45 might or something like that, and plus 3 attack at max level. And then Mind Split is a good proc as well. There are some similar procs out in the game right now that give you like poison damage and stuff like that. The damage output, I think, is a little bit lower than Mind Split, so Mind Split's kind of an incremental upgrade to that, okay? So, as far as is it worth using, I would say that depends on what commander you're using, because the might isn't going to really help out a lot of the high focus damage commanders. But for someone like the Shadow, who does good physical and focus poison and poison damage, this could be a strong contributor. Okay. Now into the actual report, we're going to be seeing some of the damage output that he has. And keep in mind, for this report, we are using a commander that has the Ring Wraith ability, which is going to increase the focus damage received by the enemies by 30%. So this is the Blazing Tongue with a 30% buff. It's basically best case scenario for the Blazing Tongue for a commander like the Shadow, okay? If you are running the Blazing Tongue on a commander like Galadriel with 600 plus focus, this could be a slightly different outcome. I don't know how that would play out, but I could see that being a lot more damage, okay? So let's get right into it. All right, into the report. We're just going to jump through the report here and find the procs from the Blazing Tongue. Okay. Here's the Mind Split proc in round 1. The Shadow punches the Guardian in the face. Okay, the Black Numenorian punches the Guardian in the face for 2980. Then the Mind Split procs on the Guardian for 2952. So the overall damage output for Mind Split was a little bit below the Black Numenorian. All right. And then just for your information, because I'm sure I'm going to get questions in the comments, I did the math in case you're curious how this Shadow performed against this Gimli. The Shadow had a total of 16,372 damage output in round 1. Okay. So this calculator out. Let's get out the calculator. How much percentile of his damage output does that proc end up being? Let's see. 29 divided by 16. All right. So this proc basically added 18% damage output to the Shadow, okay? With the Mind Split proc coming off the weapon. 18% damage increase by Shadow himself for round 1. Into round 2, okay? The Shadow is getting dual attacks here, so he is getting 2 chances to proc Mind Split in each round, in the first 4 rounds. Okay, in round 2, the Shadow has dealt a total of 22,273 damage, of which, how much is Mind Split? Let's take a look. Here's a Mind Split proc for 2493. We got 2493 in there hot. It did not proc off the first attack. It did proc off the second. Now it's definitely a little bit less damage than the Black Numenorian, because of the lower defenses proc from the Shadow. Did it proc again? That's the question. I do not see it procking again. So, out of the Shadow's total 22,273 damage, this was a total of about 11% of his damage output, okay? So, round 1, the proc was 18% of his damage output. Round 2, it's an 11% damage output boost. And then going into round 3, let's take a look at that. Okay. In round 3, Mind Split, there it is, 2429. Okay, did we get another one? We got 2 procs of the Mind Split. So we got 2429 plus 2871 for a total of 5,300 damage even caused by the Mind Splits in round 3. The Shadow just caused 5,300 damage in round 3. His total damage output for round 3 was 18,965, which means this was a 28% of his damage output in that, okay? So overall, we've got totals of 24, 29, 5,300, and then 2493. So in round 1, 2493. In round 2, 2429. In round 3, 5,300 damage output from this fantastic weapon. Puts his total damage output from the weapon's Mind Split procs at 10,222. Okay, out of a total damage. We're just doing some real quick math. Just bear with me. Hold your breath. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Okay, we've got a total damage output of 57,610 damage output from Shadow in the first 3 rounds. High damage Shadow here. Great test here, okay? Which means our total damage output from the Mind Split averaged over 3 rounds is 18%. Okay, so is the weapon worth it? I would say the answer to that question is yes. It seems to have good damage output. It is able to proc multiple times off the Shadow because he has dual attacks. If you're fighting with a commander that maybe doesn't have the dual strike, your damage output will definitely be a little bit less. But even at a 10% boost to the Shadow's damage, I would say that the Mind Split is a strong contributor, okay? So, that is the video. I don't want to make this too long. You get the picture. The Shadow dominated this fight against Gimli. Good damage output from the Shadow here. He did not have the Respect 1 title, in case you're wondering, for the splash damage, which is fine. I would have taken some of the points that he's got here and moved into that. Personally, if I was running the Shadow, but this is an NPC 300 power tile Shadow, so he did well anyways. All right, so like and sub. I love you. Long time. Thanks for watching. Randy out.